When you ask anyone who has not been to the Himalayas to imagine them, this is probably the first thing that comes to their mind. First, the mountains. Then, a road or a river that leads all the way to the mountains. And finally, topping it off with clouds. And then arises the burning question: could this really be true, or is it just a figment of my imagination? A sunrise in Jispa. One of those moments that makes life worth living. We just started from Jispa on our way to Pang, which is considered one of the toughest parts of the entire Ladakh journey. A distance of 120 kilometers. It has treacherous roads, the most grueling weather, and the temperature often touches single digits, if not below zero. Basically, we'll be treading up to the Bachala Pass, down to the Sarchu plains, and then up the Nakela Pass again, after which we'll be reaching our final destination of Pang. It sounds simple enough, right? It isn't. La. Altitude over 16,000 feet or 4,700 meters. To put that into perspective, that's almost 5 kilometers from where you're sitting, straight up. The La in all these names stands for pass, those tiny passageways through these otherwise untamed mountains that let mobility possible through these regions. of Sarchu. History has it that this was once one of the largest freshwater lakes on the planet, stretching from here all the way to the China border at Pang. Today, it's a barren land, accessible only 6 months of the year because it is covered by snow for the rest of the time. It is also the midway point on the road to Ladakh. Most people opt to stay here at Sarchu before continuing their journey on towards Ladakh the following day. It is also the place where altitude sickness first sets in. We're about 88 kilometers from Pang, but we do have the Kata loops and the Nakela Pass before we can get there. Moving on, the Kata loops. By the time we had reached Nakila, about 30 kilometers from Pang, most of us were hit by full-blown AMS, or more commonly known as altitude sickness. Almost all of us had a bad headache, nausea, and nosebleeds. 5 of us were even burning with fever. But we did manage to get to Pang right at the golden hour, or sunset. And it was a sunset we would never forget. We did manage to find a shack in Pang and collapsed for the night. It was freezing outside, about -6 degrees to be precise, and that was the end to our idea of stargazing. But you know what they say, if getting to Ladakh was that easy, everyone would do it. After a much needed good night's sleep and a satisfying breakfast, we hit the road again. Our bodies had finally adjusted to the altitude, and the symptoms of AMS finally began to withdraw. Our destination for the day was Leh. We did know the road conditions from Pang all the way to Leh were quite good. First up on our route to Leh were these flat pieces of tarmac they call Moreh Plains. This right here is every motorhead's wet dream. Flat road stretching as far as the eye can see. This is the only place in the entire Leh journey where we can actually hit high revs on our motors. The end of the Moreh Plains is marked by the final challenge faced by every traveler on this route, the mighty Tanglangla. 3,500 feet in the air. What makes this place even more amazing is this all-religion temple, a sanctuary to travelers of all religion passing through this region. We started descending as we headed towards Leh, which was about 100 kilometers from where we were. We were heading towards civilization after 3 long days of nomadic life. And then a signboard we'd never forget in our life. Welcome to Leh.